Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be solving some capsules of Accounting Standard 29. We have already discussed all the concepts in the part 1. Okay, now see. Capsule number 1 we have here is, at the end of the financial year 31st December 2017, a company finds that there are 20 lawsuits, okay, outstanding which have not been settled till the date of approval of accounts by the board of directors, okay. The possible outcome as estimated by the board is as follows. See, they are saying that there are 20 cases which are filed against our company which are still pending with the court, okay. Now they are saying, they have given us the possible outcomes. What is the probability of us winning and losing the cases? See, probability of losses is such, in respect of 5 cases, they will say that they will win it definitely 100%. It means they are saying for these 5 cases, they are thinking that they will definitely win. So out of 20, for 5 cases, when they are 100% sure that they will win. See, if they will win, they are sure, it means they are not supposed to create any provision. It means they know that we are going to win the case. It means we are not supposed to make any kind of payment. It means there is no outflow of future economic resources. Okay, now next 10 cases, it means the next 10 cases will be, they are saying in next 10 cases, the chances of winning are 60%, okay, the chances of winning are 60%. Low damages means 30%. It means 30% chances are there that we might have to pay some amount, say 1,20,000. So 1,20,000 rupees we might have to pay. 60% chances are there that we are not required to pay anything. 30% chances say we are required to pay 1,20,000, and then there is 10% chances that we might have to pay 2 lakh rupees. Understood? It is for each individual case. See, there are totally 10 cases. For each individual case, they are saying that 60% chance that we might win, 30% chance that we might have to pay 1,20,000, and 10% chance that we might have to pay 2 lakh rupees. Understood? So after that, they are saying remaining 5 cases. So you can say remaining 5 cases. What is happening with that? Again, the same thing. We will just pick it from here. For those 5 cases, they are saying win, 50% chances are there of winning. Then they say 30% chances are there that 1 lakh rupees we might have to pay. Then there are 20% chances you might have to pay 2,10,000. Okay, simple. Outcome of each case is to be taken as a separate entity. Okay, ascertain the amount of contingent loss and accounting treatment in respect thereof. It means they are saying this is contingent liability. They know, they are saying ascertain the amount, how much amount will be the contingent loss. Now understand, for these 5 cases they are winning for sure, so you will not make any kind of contingent liability, nothing, because we are thinking we will win it definitely, so sure. Next, for the next 10 cases, they are saying 30% chance we have to pay 1,20,000, 10% chance we have to pay 2 lakhs. So can I say 30% multiply 1,20,000, can I say I might have to pay 36,000 rupees? 10% of 2 lakh means 20,000 rupees. So totally 56,000 I might have to pay for each individual case. So for 10 cases, how much I might need to pay? 10 into 56,000, that will give you 5,60,000. Simple. Again, same thing with these 5 cases. 30% of 1 lakh is 30,000. 20% of 2,10,000 will give you 42,000. So 30 plus 42 will give you 72,000. That is for each case. How many cases are there totally? 5. So 72 into 5 will be 3,60,000. Understood? 3,60,000 and 5,60,000. So total it will be 9,20,000. Understood? This is what they are asking us to calculate. See, we have already written, all these answers are in the written form. I am just telling you how the calculation is happening. Check. According to AS 29, provision, contingent liability and contingent asset contingent liability should be disclosed in the financial statement if following conditions are satisfied. What are the conditions? There is a present obligation from past event but not recognized as a provision. It is not probable that an outflow of resource embodying economic benefit will be required to settle the obligation. It is not probable. Remember, it should be possible, not probable. The possibility of an outflow is also less likely to occur. The amount of the obligation cannot be measured with sufficient reliability to be recognized as provision. देखो totally what they want to say कि if you are not able to recognize it as a provision, only then you can recognize it as contingent liability. Simple. Now, after this, in this case, the probability of winning the first 5 cases is 100%. Hence, question of providing for contingent liability does not arise. Simple. The probability of winning of next 10 cases is 60 and for remaining 5 cases is 50. As per AS 29, we make a provision if the loss is probable, but in this case, loss is not probable. So, you can say probable means more than 50%. Okay, we have already discussed in detail in the previous video. Please go and check. As the loss does not appear to be probable and the possibility is not remote, rather than there is a reasonable possibility of loss, therefore disclosure by way of note should be made. Disclosure by note, we have already discussed. What is it? Footnote in notes to accounts. For the purpose of disclosure of contingent liability by way of note, amount may be calculated as under. How? See, expected loss in next 10 cases 30% of 1,20,000 and 10% of 2 lakh. It will be 36 plus 20, 56. Then 30% of 1 lakh and 20% of 2 lakh 10, that is 72. So totally 56,000 for 10 cases and 72,000 for 5 cases. The amount will be 9,20,000. That is the same amount what we had already calculated here. Understood? Very easy. Now, after this, we can remove the annotation. Remember this calculation, the pattern of writing the answers, whatever answers has been written in the document, they all are as per ICI, okay? So please follow that. Now, next capsule we have here is, after wedding in 2004-5, wait, it is not after wedding, it is after eating. In 2004 and 5, 10 people died possibly as a result of food poisoning from products sold by the enterprise. Okay, this question is repeated, I guess. This has already been discussed in the previous video. Please go and check, okay. This about the question is about the 10 people dies from that food poisoning. After this, okay, see. CAPS has 50 students of CIPCC with guarantee for returning 5,000 if student does not succeed. Okay, our assessment puts 60% probability of success whether provision need or to be disclosed as contingent liability. See, question is asking us, भाई provision बनाए या contingent liability बनाए, आप बोलो क्या बनाए. Then you can say the success rate is 60%, it means the loss rate is 40%. You can say easily, it means the loss is possible, it is not probable. If it is possible, it means you can create contingent liability. Now, check with me. Individually, each student result in independent from each other, but these are related and similar cases. If we see individually, then only 40% chance of failure, that means liability of 5,000 will arise, is not probable. Hence, no provision needed, only disclosure as contingent liability. Okay, but above view is not appropriate. Now see how. We should take whole group of 50 students together, and we can say that likelihood of 40% failure will mean 20% may fail. When 20% may fail, they will require a payment of 5,000 each. So 5,000 each to 20 students, it means 1 lakh, and hence 1 lakh rupees liability should be provided for. It means you must create provision for this 1 lakh rupees. See, there are two school of thought, okay. First is that you can say that okay, there is only 40% chance of failure, so it is not probable. It is less than 50%, so it is possible loss, so no provision needed and only disclosure as contingent liability is correct. But if you mention this also in your answer, right, it will be better for us, because what does it say? If I take the whole group of 50 students together, then I can say okay, 40% failure means 20 students will fail for 100%. Understand this, 20% students are failing, sorry, 40% are failing, 40% means 20 students will fail confirm, sure shot they are failing. Okay, if they are failing, it means you have to make the payment, and if you have to make the payment, it means your obligation is certain and you can create a provision. Understood? Now after this, we have next question here. Venu Limited sold 1 lakh vacuum pumps during the year with a warranty condition to make good by repair replacement any manufacturing defect reported within 6 months. ठीक है, अगर आप 6 महीने के अंदर कुछ भी लेके आते हो तो आपको रिपेयर रिप्लेसमेंट करके देंगे, वारंटी है, ठीक है, विद इन 6 months फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ सेल. Past experience showed that there were no replacement carried out, but minor major repairs were conducted, okay, to the extent of 10% and 5% respectively of the units sold. It means minor repairs were 10% and major repairs were 5%. Okay, the cost of such minor and major would amount to 1000 and 6000. Okay, while finalizing the accounts for the year, the company does not reflect any provision in this regard. भाई कंपनी कोई प्रोविजन बना ही नहीं रही है, कंपनी कोई प्रोविजन बना नहीं रही है, वो लोग हमको बोल रहे हैं कि आप कमेंट करो इसको. देखो क्वेश्चन क्या बोल रहा है कि 10% केसेस आते हैं माइनर के, 5% केसेस आते हैं मेजर डिफेक्ट के. फॉर एवरी माइनर डिफेक्ट वी इनकर 1000 रुपीज़ एक्सपेंस, फॉर एवरी मेजर डिफेक्ट वी इनकर 6000 रुपीज़ एक्सपेंस. तो आप बताओ क्या प्रोविजन बनाना चाहिए या नहीं बनाना चाहिए? चलो आंसर देखते हैं. देयर इज अ present obligation because obligating event is the sale of the pumps with a warranty which gives rise to an obligation. Okay, outflow of resources probable for the warranties as a whole. भाई खर्चा तो करना ही पड़ेगा ठीक करने के लिए. बेस्ट एस्टिमेशन कैन बी मेड एज अंडर 6000 रुपीज, दैट इज मेजर for 5% of case, and 1000 rupees which is minor for 10% of 1 lakh, that is you can say totally 400 lakh rupees you have to create the provision. The company should make a provision for warranty on sale of vacuum pumps to the extent of 400 lakhs. The auditor should insist on such provision being created. If provision is not made, he should qualify his audit report. About this thing you will be learning in your auditing subject. Okay, but now we have to understand you must create provision here. Okay, because the past experiences says that you have 5% cases, 10% cases, so you have to create a provision because there is a outflow of resources that is probable for warranty. Understood? Now after this, we can say the next question we have here is, an engineering goods company provides after sales warranty for 2 years to its customer. ठीक है भाई, 2 साल की वारंटी है. Based on past experience, the company has the following policy for making provision for warranty on the invoice amount on the remaining balance warranty period. Okay, less than 1 year. भाई अब 1 साल की है अगर वारंटी बची है तो 2% प्रोविजन, अगर 1 साल से ज़्यादा की वारंटी बची है तो 3% प्रोविजन. टोटल वारंटी होती है कितनी है? 2 साल की वारंटी है. चलो, the company has raised invoices under, invoices were 19 January 2011 40,000, 29 January 2012 25,000, then 15th October 2012 is 90,000. ठीक है भाई. Calculate the provision to be made for warranty under AS 29 as at 31st March 2012. Okay, so I will create here number line 31st March 2012, 1st April 2010, 1 year will pass here, 31st March 2011. First bill was 19 January 2011, so this will be here 19th January 2011. Bill amount was 40,000. Then 25,000 in 29th Jan. That will be 25,000. Okay. what we can do, we can just छोटा कर देते हैं इसे. Then 31st March 2013, one more bill 15th October 2012, bill amount is rupees 90,000. Okay, calculate the provision as on 31st March 12. Here we are sending here, okay, and 31st March 2013. Okay, also compute amount to be debited to P&L account for the year ended 31st March 2013. Be very careful. What are they asking? They are asking amount to be debited to P&L. It means how much more provision you have to create in this particular year. This year we are making new provision, and how much is the amount, what is the entry, that they are asking. Now see, how will you compute it? Invoice date, last date of warranty, provision as on 31st March 2012, you can say provision as on, wait, it is not appropriate. We can prepare a table for this, so it will become very easy for us. See, first will be invoice date, then date of validation, or you can say the last date of warranty, the last date of warranty. Okay, then after that we can say two more columns, provision as on 31st March 2012 and same provision as on 31st March 2013. Okay, now we have three bills. Invoice date was 19th January 2011, 29th January 2012, 15th October 2012. We have to calculate 2 years. 2 years will be 19th January 2013, 29th January 2014, 15th October 2014. Now I have to create provision as on 31st March 2012. Now understand this. How will you calculate? We know that if it has been already period less than 1 year, see, suppose from 31st March 2012 to the last day is 19th January 2013. How many months are there? It is hardly 9 or 10 months. If it is 10 months, it means it is less than 1 year. If it is less than 1 year, how much provision will you create? You will create 2%. So you will write here 2%. Multiply amount we will write. Okay. Then again, from the last day to the next bill is, next warranty will be cancelled on 29th January 14. It is more than 1 year. If it is more than 1 year, how much percentage? It is 3%. Now you can say for 15th October 2012, invoice date is 15th October, but provision as on 31st March 2012 to 15th October you cannot say. Why? Because the bill itself is not received. Bill will be raised on 15th October. You have to remember this. Bill is not raised. No. When bill itself is not raised, how can you create the provision? So you will write here nil. Understood? Now provision as on 31st March 2013, from here 31st March 2013 to 19th January 2013. See, it has already gone, the period has gone, so again nil. Then 31st March 2013 to 29th January, it is less than 1 year, so you will prepare 2% provision. Again after this, from 31st March 2014 to 15th October, it means it is more than 1 year, it will be 3%. Understood? Now we will put the amounts. What are the amounts? 40, 25, 90, 40,000, 25,000. It is blank. Again here will be 25,000, and for this bill it will be 90,000. So when we make the provision, 2% of 40,000 will be 800 plus 750, it will be 1,550. Here 2% will be 500 plus 9th is a 2700, it will be 3200. Now understand, this is the provision balance we should have as on 31st March 2012 and 2013. What is the question? It says also compute what amount to be debited to profit and loss account for the year. It means I already had provision of 1550. I want extra provision to create till 3200. So how much should I add? I will pass an entry. See, I want 3200, 1550 I already have. So extra how much is required? 1650, and for this the entry will be P&L account debit to provision for whatever it is damages. Okay, like this we are supposed to create, or provision for warranty. P&L account should be debited by 1650. Understood? Now moving further to the next question. What does it say? See, Shyam Limited provides consultancy and engineering services to its clients. In the year 2010-11, the government has set up a commission to decide about the pay revision. Okay, the pay will be revised with respect from 1st Jan 2006 based on the recommendation of commission. Okay, the company makes the provision for 680 lakhs for pay revision in the FY 2010-11 on the estimated basis on the report of the commission yet to come. Okay, as per the contract with the client on cost plus job basis, the billing is done on the actual payment made to the employees and allocated to jobs based on hours booked by these employees. ठीक है, देखो क्या हुआ है, कंपनी है श्याम लिमिटेड, सरकार ने, गवर्नमेंट ने बोल दिया कि आपको अपने एम्प्लॉयज़ की सैलरी बढ़ानी होगी. अब भाई एम्प्लॉयज़ की सैलरी बढ़ानी होगी तो कंपनी पैसे कहाँ से लाए? कंपनी को पता है कि टोटल एम्प्लॉयज़ की अगर सैलरी बढ़ाऊंगा तो 680 लाख रुपीज़ का खर्चा है. ठीक है, अब कंपनी सोच रही है कि भाई मैंने जो मेरे क्लाइंट से पैसे लिए थे वो तो मैंने एक्चुअल पैसे लिए थे, जितने मैंने एम्प्लॉय को दिए थे उतने पैसे लिए थे. अब मुझे एम्प्लॉय को एक्स्ट्रा 680 लाख रुपीज़ देने हैं. अब मैं ये कहाँ से लाऊंगा? अब देखो, द कंपनी डिस्क्लोजेज थ्रू नोट्स टू अकाउंट्स सैलरी एंड बेनिफिट इंक्लूड द प्रोविजन ऑफ 680 lakhs in respect of pay revision. The amount chargeable from reimbursable jobs will be billed as per the contract when the actual payment is made. What does it mean? See, the amount chargeable from reimbursable jobs will be billed as per the contract. जब भी मैं पेमेंट करूंगा ना तब हम लोग उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में लिखेंगे, तब हम लोग बिलिंग करेंगे. देखो, द अकाउंटेंट फील्स दैट द कंपनी शुड ऑल्सो बुक द इनकम बाय 680 lakhs in P&L account as per the terms of contract. Okay, otherwise it will be violation of matching concept and understatement of profit. Comment on the opinion. देखो, कंपनी ने क्या कहा है, कंपनी बोल रही है कि भाई 680 लाख रुपीज़ मैं कहाँ से लाऊंगा, मैं तो क्लाइंट से ही लूंगा. सरकार ने सैलरी बढ़ा दी सारे एम्प्लॉयज़ की, तो हु विल पे दिस एक्स्ट्रा कॉस्ट? माय कस्टमर्स विल पे, क्लाइंट्स आर द कस्टमर्स. तो अब अकाउंटेंट बोल रहा है कि जैसे हम लोगों ने 680 लाख रुपीज़ का प्रोविजन लिखा है, प्रोविजन ऑफ सैलरीज, दैट इज माई प्रोविजन, दैट इज माई लाइबिलिटी, आई एम सपोज टू पे, वैसे ही अकाउंटेंट बोल रहा है कि आप इनकम भी लिख लो, क्योंकि यू आर सपोज टू रिसीव दैट मनी फ्रॉम योर क्लाइंट, यू हैव टू रिसीव फ्रॉम कस्टमर. तो इनकम भी लिख लो, एक्सपेंस भी लिख लो, तो मैचिंग कंसेप्ट के तहत हमारी बात ठीक हो जाएगी. ये बात अकाउंटेंट बोल रहा है. अब accountant is different, but you are chartered accountant, you have to comment on the opinion of the accountant. Now see, what does it say? It says as per AS 29 this where some or all of the expenditure required to settle a provision is expected to be reimbursed by another party, the reimbursement should be recognized when and only when it is virtually certain that reimbursement will be received. भाई दिख रहा है क्या कि क्लाइंट सारे पैसे दे देंगे? आपको लगता है कि क्लाइंट 680 लाख रुपए, 680 लाख रुपीज़ क्लाइंट देगा? देखो, इफ द एंटायर प्राइस सेटल्स द ऑब्लिगेशन, ओके, द रीइंबर्समेंट शुड बी ट्रीटेड एज सेपरेट असेट. ओके, द अमाउंट रिकॉग्नाइज्ड फॉर द रीइंबर्समेंट शुड नॉट एक्सीड द अमाउंट ऑफ द प्रोविजन, ऑब्वियसली. नाउ उसके बाद बोला है अकॉर्डिंगली पोटेंशियल लॉस टू एन एंटरप्राइज में बी रिड्यूस और अवॉइडेड बिकॉज ऑफ कंटिजेंट लाइबिलिटीज मैच्ड बाय रिलेटेड काउंटर क्लेम. ठीक है, अगेंस्ट अ थर्ड पार्टी इन सच केस द अमाउंट ऑफ प्रोविजन is determined after taking into account the probable recovery under the claim if no significant uncertainty as to measurability or collectability exists. देखो वो लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं, वो लोग बोल रहे हैं देखो अगर रीइंबर्समेंट मिलने वाला है क्लाइंट से तो उसको सेपरेटली लिखो. ठीक है, अपने प्रोविजन फॉर सैलरी जो 680 लाख है उसको एज इट इज रखो. ठीक है, अगर आपको लगता है कि 680 लाख क्लाइंट नहीं देगा, मान लो आपको लग रहा है कि क्लाइंट 500 लाख ही देगा और हमारा खर्चा तो टोटल 680 लाख है, तो फिर आप 180 लाख को एज एन एक्सपेंस बोल के दिखा दो अपने प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट में. सी वी हैव ऑलरेडी सॉल्व्ड अ कैप्सूल regarding reimbursement in the part 1. Okay, please check that because it is a little complicated case. There we have discussed a little simple case so that you will understand in better thing that what is reimbursement. Okay, चलो वापस इसकी बात करते हैं. What is it saying? In this case, the provision of salary amounts to 680 lakhs. Okay, which will be ultimately collected from the client as per the terms of contract. भाई client से मिल जाएंगे वो पैसे, ठीक है. Therefore, the liability of 680 lakh is matched by the counterclaim from the client. Hence, the provision for salary should be matched with the reimbursable asset to be claimed from the client. It appears that the whole amount of 680 lakh is recoverable and there is no significant uncertainty about the collection. भाई हमको पूरा भरोसा है हमारे क्लाइंट पूरा 680 लाख रुपीस हमको वापस दे देंगे, ठीक है. Hence, you can say the net charge to P&L account should be nil. क्योंकि भाई जब कुछ खर्चा हुआ ही नहीं, मैंने 100 रुपये खर्चे और मेरे पापा ने 100 रुपये मुझे वापस दे दिए, ठीक है, तो मेरे लिए खर्चा क्या, जीरो. आई हैव नॉट स्पेंट माई मनी. द ओपिनियन ऑफ द अकाउंटेंट रिगार्डिंग रिकॉग्निशन ऑफ इनकम इज नॉट एज पर AS 29C and also the concept of prudence will not be followed if 680 lakh is simultaneously recognized as income. Okay, 680 lakh is not the revenue at present. देखो अकाउंटेंट की बात गलत है. अकाउंटेंट क्या बोल रहा है कि भाई इनकम रिकॉर्ड कर लो 680 लाख की, क्योंकि आपको कस्टमर से मिलने वाले हैं. आप रिकॉर्ड नहीं कर सकते. क्यों? क्योंकि आज की तारीख में दैट इज नॉट रेवेन्यू फॉर यू. अंडरस्टूड? एज ऑफ टुडे यू कैन नॉट से कि भाई मैंने इतने रुपए कमाए, आई हैव अर्न सो मच इनकम. नो, यू कैन नॉट से दैट, बट यू कैन शो इट एज योर असेट दैट ओके देयर इज अ रिसीवेबल फ्रॉम कस्टमर, that I am supposed to receive money from customer, that I can say, for which an asset is created. However, the accountant is correct to the extent as that non-recognition of 680 lakh as income will result in understatement of profit. To avoid this in the statement, expense relating to provision may be presented net of the amount. देखो अकाउंटेंट को क्या चिंता थी? अकाउंटेंट को ये चिंता थी कि जब मैं प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस बनाऊंगा, यहाँ पे एक्सपेंस में लिखूंगा 680 लैक्स, तो उससे मेरा प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस स्टेटमेंट बहुत गंदा दिखेगा, मेरा प्रॉफिट बहुत कम हो जाएगा. तो वो क्या चाहता था? वो चाह रहा था कि 680 लाख रुपीज़ की इनकम भी दिखा दो, इनकम फ्रॉम क्लाइंट दिखा दो. दिस इज वॉट आर अकाउंटेंट वॉन्टेड. ओके, सो दैट इज रॉन्ग. यू कैन नॉट शो लाइक दिस के इनकम दिखा दिया क्लाइंट से मिलने वाले, दैट इज नॉट एन इनकम. बट आपकी P&L की पोजीशन कैसे अच्छी दिखने लग जाएगी? आप P&L में यहाँ पे सीधा जीरो ही दिखा दो कि भाई कोई खर्चा है ही नहीं. भाई क्यों खर्चा नहीं है? क्योंकि मेरी जेब से तो कुछ गया ही नहीं. मुझे सैलरी देनी थी 680 लैक्स, वो तो मुझे कस्टमर से मिल जाएगा 680 लाख, तो मेरे लिए एक्सपेंस क्या? ज़ीरो. बात समझ में आई? सिंपल. भाई अगर मैं कोई पैसे खर्च कर रहा हूँ, देखो क्या होता है, हम लोग जब बचपन में, जैसे सपोज आई हैड अ पॉकेट मनी ऑफ 100 रुपीज़. ओके, नाउ दैट 100 रुपीज़ आई एम स्पेंडिंग ऑन सपोज से आइसक्रीम और व्हाट्सोएवर. देन व्हेन माय फादर कम्स होम आई टेल माय फादर प्लीज गिव मी अनदर 100 रुपीज़, नो, बिकॉज आई हैव ऑलरेडी स्पेंट इट. नाउ व्हाट माय फादर डज, ही गेव मी 100 रुपीज़ अगेन. नाउ थिंक फ्रॉम माई पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, डिड आई स्पेंड एनी ऑफ माई अमाउंट? डिड आई स्पेंड एनी माई मनी? नहीं. क्यों? क्योंकि पूरे के पूरे पैसे तो वापस मिल गए. अब जब पापा ने पूरे पैसे दे दिए तो मैं क्या बोलूँगा? मैंने तो कुछ खर्चा किया ही नहीं. अकॉर्डिंग टू मी देर इज नो एक्सपेंस. अंडरस्टूड? देर इज अ बेनिफिट फॉर मी कि आइसक्रीम मिल गई, चॉकलेट मिल गई. दैट इज वॉट दे आर सेइंग कि 680 लाख रुपीज दे आर नॉट सपोज टू पे फ्रॉम देयर पॉकेट. इट इज द बेनिफिट फॉर देम बिकॉज दे विल रिसीव इट फ्रॉम द क्लाइंट. सिंपल. नाउ after that we have a question. An airline, see, it says an airline is required by law to overhaul its aircraft once in every 5 years. मतलब भाई आपको हर 5 साल में अपने एयरक्राफ्ट को ठीक करवाना होगा, एकदम अच्छे से ठीक, अच्छे से मेंटेनेंस, अच्छे से रिपेयर करवाना होगा. ओवरऑल मतलब मेजर एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन रिपेयर, ठीक है, बहुत बड़ा खर्चा होता है ये, ठीक है. द पैसिफिक एयरलाइन विच ऑपरेट्स एयरक्राफ्ट डज नॉट प्रोवाइड एनी प्रोविजन एज रिक्वायर्ड बाय लॉ इन इट्स फाइनल अकाउंट. अब देखो इतना बड़ा खर्चा है मगर फिर भी ये कुछ नालायक कंपनियां द पैसिफिक एयरलाइंस जैसी कोई प्रोविजन ही नहीं बनाया. डिस्कस विद रेफरेंस टू रेलेवेंट अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड 29. नाउ सी क्या बोला है? अ प्रोविजन शुड बी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड ओनली व्हेन एन एंटरप्राइज हैज अ प्रेजेंट ऑब्लिगेशन अराइजिंग फ्रॉम पास्ट इवेंट. इन द गिवन केस देयर इज नो प्रेजेंट ऑब्लिगेशन बट अ फ्यूचर वन. ठीक है भाई, भविष्य में तो खर्चा करना ही होगा. देयरफॉर नो प्रोविजन इज रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एज पर AS 29. okay, because there is no present obligation. But अब देखो, the cost of overhauling aircraft is not recognized as a provision because It is a future obligation and the incurring of the expenditure depends on the company's decision to continue operating the aircraft. भाई अगर कंपनी बोल दे मेरे को एयरक्राफ्ट का बिजनेस ही नहीं करना तो फिर आपको प्रोविजन चाहिए ही नहीं. Even a legal requirement to overhaul does not require the company to make a provision or for the cost of overhaul because there is no present obligation. भाई लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट है मान लिया, लॉ ने बोला है ये भी मान लिया, बट आज की तारीख में देर इज नो प्रेजेंट ऑब्लिगेशन टू ओवरहॉल द एयरक्राफ्ट, तो फिर आप प्रोविजन नहीं बनाओगे. आगे फर्दर द एंटरप्राइज कैन अवॉइड द फ्यूचर एक्सपेंडिचर बाय इट्स फ्यूचर एक्शन, फॉर एग्जाम्पल बाय सेलिंग द एयरक्राफ्ट. मान लो कंपनी वो एयरक्राफ्ट ही बेच देती है तो फिर तो भाई रिपेयर कराओगे किसे. हाउ एवर नाउ एन ऑब्लिगेशन might arise to pay fines or penalty under the legislation after completion of 5 years. Suppose 5 साल कंप्लीट हो जाते हैं, 5 साल कंप्लीट हो गए फिर भी ओवरहॉलिंग एक्सपेंडिचर नहीं करवाया, आपने अपने एयरक्राफ्ट को रिपेयर नहीं करवाया, आपने प्रोविजन भी नहीं बनाया, तो फिर क्या होगा. असेसमेंट ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ इनकरिंग फाइन्स एंड पेनल्टीज डिपेंड्स अपॉन द प्रोविजन ऑफ द लेजिस्लेशन एंड स्ट्रिंजेंसी ऑफ द एनफोर्समेंट रेजिम. मतलब कितना स्ट्रिक्ट है आपका जो लॉ वहाँ पे आपके देश में जो कानून है. A provision should be recognized for the best estimate of fines and penalties. याद रखो 5 साल में ओवरहॉलिंग एक्सपेंडिचर नहीं कराया, दैट इज योर डिसीजन, बट अकॉर्डिंग टू गवर्नमेंट यू हैव टू नाउ पे फाइन एंड पेनल्टी, क्योंकि आपने रिपेयर नहीं करवाया, अब फाइन भरो, उसके लिए आपको प्रोविजन बनाना होगा. कंटिन्यूज टू ऑपरेट एयरक्राफ्ट फॉर मोर देन 5 years. बात आ गई समझ में. भाई रिपेयर के लिए प्रोविजन बनाया नहीं बनाया, बट अगर 5 साल में भी आपने प्रोविजन फॉर रिपेयर नहीं बनाया तो आपको पेनल्टी पे करनी होगी, और वो पेनल्टी पे करने के लिए आपको प्रोविजन बनाना ही होगा. अ प्रोविजन शुड बी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड फॉर द बेस्ट एस्टिमेट ऑफ फाइन्स एंड पेनल्टीज इफ द एयरलाइन कंटिन्यूज टू ऑपरेट एयरक्राफ्ट फॉर मोर देन 5 years. बात समझ में आ गई. चलो नेक्स्ट. WZW Limited is in the dispute involving allegation of infringement of patent by a competitor company who is seeking damage of huge sum of 1000 lakh. अच्छा, ये एक कंपनी है, इस पे इसके कॉम्पिटिटर ने केस फाइल कर दिया. कॉम्पिटिटर इज सेइंग दैट WZW Limited has used its patented product and now they want 1000 lakh rupees from WZW Limited as the damages. Okay, the directors are of the opinion that the claim can be successfully registered by the company. How would you deal the same in the annual accounts of the company? See, देखो director of WZW Limited, what they are thinking? They are thinking that they can easily win the case. They are not supposed to make any provision for 1000 lakhs. That is what directors are thinking. Okay, now they are asking how will we deal. See, why they are asking us? Because we are chartered accountants. Now, as per para 14 of AS 29, a provision should be recognized when an enterprise has a present obligation, it is probable and a reliable estimate. Remember, these three are very important words. Okay, if these conditions are not met, no provision should be recognized. Simple. Now, a contingent liability is disclosed unless the possibility of an outflow of resources embodying economic benefit is remote. It means what? You will create a contingent liability unless the possibility of outflow is remote. देखो भाई, if outflow of resource is very remote, then what we learnt? Ignore it. But if it is not remote, then you have to disclose the contingent liability. Simple. The possibility of an outflow of resources embodying economic benefit seems to be remote in the given situation, since the directors are of the opinion that the claim can be successfully resisted by the company. देखो डायरेक्टर्स क्या सोच रहे कि हम लोग केस जीतेंगे ही. इट मीन्स दे वांट टू से दैट देयर वोंट बी एनी आउटफ्लो ऑफ रिसोर्सेज, एक भी पैसा देना नहीं पड़ेगा, और वी कैन से दैट द आउटफ्लो ऑफ रिसोर्सेज विल बी वेरी रिमोट इन दिस पर्टिकुलर केस. ओके, कि बहुत छोटा अमाउंट देना होगा, 1000 lakhs वी आर नॉट सपोज टू पे, वी विल नॉट पे दिस मच अमाउंट. ओके, देयरफॉर द कंपनी शैल नॉट डिस्क्लोज द सेम एज कंटिंजेंट लाइबिलिटी, क्योंकि डायरेक्टर को लग रहा है बहुत रिमोट है, बहुत छोटा अमाउंट है, दे कैन डायरेक्टली इग्नोर. बट हाउएवर, following note in this regard may be given, it is not a compulsion, may be given in annual accounts, that litigation is in process against the company relating to a dispute with the competitor who alleges that the company has infringed patent and seeking damage of 1000 lakh. However, the director are of the opinion that the claim can be successfully resisted by the company. देखो डायरेक्टर्स क्या बोल रहे हैं कि हम लोग ना हमारे शेयर होल्डर्स को ये इन्फॉर्मेशन दे देंगे डायरेक्टर्स रिपोर्ट में या एनुअल अकाउंट्स में कि भाई हमारे खिलाफ हमारे कॉम्पिटिटर ने केस किया है और वो हमसे 1000 लैक्स की डिमांड कर रहा है, ठीक है। बट हम लोग कौन, हम डायरेक्टर्स ये सोच रहे हैं कि हम लोग आराम से ये केस जीत जाएंगे, ठीक है, इसलिए हमने इस पर कोई भी प्रोविजन नहीं बनाया है। इजी। नाउ अगला सवाल देखो। इट इज सेम ओनली द अमाउंट इज जस्ट डिफरेंट, बिफोर इट वाज 1000 लाख, नाउ इट इज 900 लाख। Here also the question is same, we have already discussed it, where the salaries were 680 lakh 650 lakh around in the previous question, now it is 1250 lakhs, okay. देखो, Masses AB Limited is in the process of finalizing its accounts for the year ended 31st March 2015. The company seeks your advice on the following. ठीक है भाई, the company sales tax assessment for assessment year 12-13 has been completed on 14 Feb 2015. Okay. भाई 14 फेब को असेसमेंट आपका कंप्लीट हो गया, सेल्स टैक्स असेसमेंट विद अ डिमांड ऑफ 5.4 करोड़। इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट ने आपको कहा है कि आपको 5.4 करोड़ पे करने हैं, ठीक है। द कंपनी पेड द एंटायर ड्यू अंडर प्रोटेस्ट विदाउट प्रेजुडिस टू इट्स राइट ऑफ अपील। कोई अपील की नहीं, सीधा सीधा पैसे दे दिए। द कंपनी फाइल्स इट अपील बिफोर द एपेलेट अथॉरिटी वेयर इन द ग्राउंड्स ऑफ अपील कवर टैक्स ऑन एडिशन मेड इन द असेसमेंट ऑर्डर फॉर अ सम ऑफ 3.70 करोड़। अब अपील जब की है, अपील क्या की है कि भाई 3.70 करोड़ हमने एक्स्ट्रा पे किए, उसके लिए उन लोगों ने अपील किया कि हमको वो वापस दो, ठीक है। देखो, द कंपनी इज एंड नाउ अबाउट दिस, सी सिंस द कंपनी इज नॉट अपीलिंग अगेंस्ट द एडिशन ऑफ 1.70 करोड़, भाई 5.4 माइनस 3.7, सी कंपनी पेड टोटली 5.40 करोड़, ओके। कंपनी फाइल्ड एन अपील ओनली फॉर 3.70 करोड़, okay. Now it means therefore the same should be provided of in its account. Same means that extra 1.70 crores, right? See, इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट ने कंपनी को कहा भाई 5 करोड़ 40 लाख रुपीस पे करो। कंपनी ने कहा कि मैं तो 1.70 करोड़ रुपए देने के लिए रेडी हूँ, ठीक है, बट आई विल नॉट गिव 3.70 करोड़ नाउ। अंडरस्टैंड दिस। नाउ हाउएवर द अमाउंट पेड अंडर प्रोटेस्ट कैन बी केप्ट अंडर द हेडिंग लॉन्ग टर्म लोन एडवांस as the case may be, along with disclosure as contingent liability of rupees 3.70 crores. What they are saying that 1.70 crore you can show as the expenses, or you can provide it, you can create a provision for that if you are paying later. Understand this. But they are saying the amount paid under protest, see how it happens now. For 5.40 crore the payment has been made, okay. After I have paid entire 5.40 crore, I am saying I will appeal for 3.70 crores because I believe this is the extra amount income tax department has taken from me. I accept that 1.70 crore is absolutely correct. This calculation is absolutely correct by the income tax department, but I am against this 3.70 crore. So I am demanding this 3.70 crores back from the income tax department. Understood? Now you can create provision for 1.70 crores, okay, what you are ready to pay, but the amount which you are not ready to pay, that you will show as your contingent liability. Now after this, the company has entered into a wage agreement in May 2015 whereby the labor union has accepted a revision in wage from June 2014. ठीक, the agreement provides that the hike till May 2015 will not be paid to the employees but will be settled to them at the time of retirement. भाई मैं आप लोग को रिवीजन कर दूंगा आपके पूरे पे का, ठीक है, आपका वेजेस का रिवाइज हो जाएगा, मतलब आपका वेजेस बढ़ा दिया जाएगा पूरे एक साल पीछे से, बट मैं आपको भी कैश में पेमेंट नहीं करूंगा, आई विल पे यू एट द टाइम ऑफ रिटायरमेंट। द कंपनी अग्रीज टू डिपॉजिट द अरियर्स इन द गवर्नमेंट बॉन्ड्स। तो फिर भाई इसका क्या करना है, देखो, द अरियर्स फॉर द पीरियड फ्रॉम जून 2014 टू मार्च 15 आर रिक्वायर्ड टू बी प्रोवाइडेड फॉर, आपको इसके लिए प्रोविजन बनाना होगा बिकॉज you have present obligation to pay that amount due to the past events. Understood? For the year 2015, assuming that negotiation for hike had already started in the 14-15, that is before the balance sheet date through the agreement. भाई ये मेरी present obligation है क्योंकि law आ चुका है, I have to revise the wages of my employees, so it is my present obligation, I have to create a provision for that. Now with reference to AS 29 define, see these all are the liabilities, these are the definitions for provision, liability, contingent, assent and all that we have already discussed in detail in the previous video. After this we have here is, again this is the same thing where they are just putting a case for infringement of 200 lakh that we have already discussed in the previous, I think some 2 or 3 questions back, okay, where the directors are feeling that they can successfully resist that case. Now here, this is again the same as our question number 1. See, there are not so much variety in the questions, okay. We have already covered so many capsules in the previous video and in this video. Now the questions are in repetitive nature. We have taken these questions because some of the figures they have already discussed in some sample papers of ICAI or in the ICAI question paper also, okay. Then see, this one also we have already seen, see, where less than 1 year 2% provision, more than 1 year 3% provision, only the amounts are different. Now see, with reference to AS 29, how would you deal? See, an organization operates an offshore oil field where its licensing agreement requires it to remove the oil rig at the end of production and restore the seabed. देखो, समंदर में से तेल निकाला, जो भी किया काम, वो लोग बोल रहे हैं कि भाई आप आफ्टर यूजिंग दैट सी बेड यू हैव टू रिस्टोर, मतलब सब कुछ सही करना होगा उस कंपनी को, ठीक है. 90% ऑफ द इवेंचुअल कॉस्ट रिलेट टू रिमूवल ऑफ ऑयल रिग एंड रिस्टोरेशन ऑफ डैमेज कॉज्ड बाय बिल्डिंग इट एंड 10% अराइज थ्रू द एक्सट्रैक्शन ऑफ ऑयल. भाई 90% खर्चा तो उस रिमूवल का है, रिस्टोरेशन का है, एंड 10% अराइज थ्रू द एक्सट्रैक्शन ऑफ ऑयल. एट द बैलेंस शीट डेट द रिग हैज बीन कंस्ट्रक्टेड बट नो ऑयल हैज बीन एक्सट्रैक्टेड. भाई तेल तो निकाला ही नहीं, तो 10% खर्चा तो अब भी बाकी है. नाउ व्हाट विल यू डू? सी, the construction of oil rig creates an obligation under the terms of license to remove the rig and restore the seabed, okay, and this is an obligating event. भाई ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी है, आप नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज को इतना वायलेट नहीं कर सकते, इतना डिप्लीशन होगा तो आपको उसका जुर्माना भरना होगा. यू हैव टू पे द कॉस्ट फॉर इट. एट द बैलेंस शीट डेट देयरफॉर there is no obligation to rectify the damage that will be caused by extraction of the oil. An outflow of resource embodying economic benefit in settlement is probable. Thus, a provision is required for the best estimate of 90% of eventual cost that relate to the removal of oil rig. See, oil rig has been already done, so 90% expense I have to spend money to restore the seabed and restoration of damage caused by building it. These costs are included as part of the cost of oil rig. However, there is no obligation to rectify the damage that will be caused by extraction. Why? See, there were two things. Understand this. First was removal of oil rig. Second was restoration. They are saying as on 31st March we have removed the oil rig. So for this you have to create the provision. But there is no restoration. Where is that? Restoration, the damage. But there has been no damage. So they are saying, see, first was removal of oil rig, and second was extraction of oil. Okay, these were the two activities. Removal of oil was for 90% cost, extraction of oil was for 10% cost. Company is saying we have removed the oil rig, so they will create 90% provision, but they have not extracted the oil, so they will not create this 10% provision. Okay, see the answer. However, there is no obligation to rectify the damage which will be caused by the extraction of oil, because extract तो किया ही नहीं, as no oil has been extracted at the balance sheet date, so no provision is required for the cost of extraction. You will not create any provision. 10% of cost that arise through the extraction are recognized as a liability when the oil is extracted. जब oil extract होगा, then we will recognize that. Okay. This is what the answer number 1 is saying. Now we will discuss the second part. During 2016-17, they are saying, see, ACE Limited gives a guarantee of certain borrowing of Brew Limited, whose financial condition at the time is sound. Okay. See, ACE Limited gives a guarantee of certain borrowing of Brew Limited. What would have happened? Brew Limited, suppose I have gone to HDFC Bank to borrow some money. Okay. HDFC is saying that give me some collateral. Brew doesn't have the collateral, but Brew's friends is ACE Limited. ACE Limited gives guarantee to HDFC Limited that, okay, you give money to Brew Limited, I give you the guarantee. Okay. during 17-18 the financial condition of Brew Limited deteriorates and at 31st March 17 it goes into liquidation. A Brew Limited has gone, it has been liquidated. Now who will pay money to HDFC? You also know the money will be paid by Ace Limited. Okay, now so do we have to prepare the provision or not? See, obviously you will create it. As per AS 29, for a liability to qualify for recognition, there must be not only present obligation but also the probability of outflow of resource embodying economic benefit to settle obligation. Okay, the obligating event is the giving of the guarantee. When you give the guarantee, that will become your obligating event. That is your past event. Okay, you already gave the guarantee for certain borrowings, which gives rise to obligation. So no outflow benefit is probable as on 31st March 17. It's all right. Thus no provision is recognized. The guarantee is disclosed as a contingent liability unless the probability of outflow is regarded as remote. भाई अगर बहुत remote है, बहुत छोटा amount है, then you cannot say that contingent liability is there. Okay. Yes, the guarantee is disclosed as contingent unless it is remote. अगर remote नहीं है, it is of some material amount is there, then you can say okay, it is contingent liability. During 17-18, the financial condition of Brew Limited deteriorates and finally goes into liquidation. Now see, the obligation event is the giving of guarantee which gives rise to legal obligation. As on 31st March 18, it is probable that an outflow will be required to settle the obligation. Thus, provision is required for the best estimate of the obligation. जरूरी है provision बनाना ही होगा. बात समझ में आई? Please, if you can take the printout, take the printout. But if you can write it, it would be most beneficial. Okay. Writing the answer will give you a pattern of that how are you supposed to write the answer in paper also. Now, this is again the same question, that 1 year, 2 year guarantee. Okay, I think it has been just copied. No, see the amounts, just percentage is changed. Now the percentage they are saying is 85 and 15. Rest all question is same, restore the bed and end of production, all those things. The next question is also kind of same. It is like government has given some instructions. See, the government introduces a number of changes to the taxation law. As a result of these changes, the company will need to train a large proportion of its accounting and legal workforce. This is training of staff. Training of staff to ensure continued compliance with tax law regulation. Also at the balance sheet date, no retraining of staff has taken place. भाई किसी स्टाफ को रिट्रेनिंग दी ही नहीं तो फिर कोई खर्चा हुआ ही नहीं. Now see, this we have already discussed also in our notes in the previous video. The expenditure of training the staff relates to future conduct of the business and are not liability for restructuring at the balance sheet date. These are not restructuring provision. Such expenditure are recognized on the same basis as if they arose independently of a restructuring. At the balance sheet date, no such expenditure has been incurred, hence no provision is required. We have learnt a topic in the previous video, that is restructuring provisions. In that, our accounting standard 29 has given a particular list. In that list, it is already mentioned that retraining of staff will not be included in the restructuring provision. Understand this. Okay, this question is based on that only. Now, a manufacturer gives warranties at the time of sale to purchasers of its product. Okay, they are giving warranties under the terms of contract for sale. The manufacturer undertakes to make good by repair or replacement. ठीक है, मैन्युफैक्चरर बोल रहा है मैं रिपेयर करके दे दूंगा, रिप्लेस करके दे दूंगा अगर कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आए. आई एम गिविंग यू द वारंटी. ओके, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिफेक्ट्स दैट बिकम अपैरेंट विद इन 3 years, 3 साल तक की गारंटी दी है फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ सेल. ऑन पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस इट इज प्रोबेबल दैट देयर विल बी सम क्लेम्स अंडर द वारंटी. भाई थोड़े बहुत क्लेम आ सकते हैं. वेदर एनी प्रोविजन इज रिक्वायर्ड, डेफिनेटली इट इज रिक्वायर्ड. The obligating event is the sale of product with a warranty. An outflow of resources embodying economic benefit and settlement is probable for the warranties as whole. Therefore, provision for best estimate should be made. We have also discussed this kind of question in this video itself in starting. Okay, please go and check. Now, these were your all the questions for, you can say all the varieties are covered for accounting standard 29. Please take the printout. Please keep your notes ready and make an habit of writing the answers. Thank you so much.